Hello, everyone, and welcome to the In the Pocket podcast. Back again. I'm Max Sturm. That's Logan Martin. Xander Cook is back with us on this Thursday night. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about week 4 and our predictions. The Thursday night game is about to get underway, so that score will be already finalized by the time you guys see this video. But make sure that you guys like and subscribe if you like the content, like talking ball, like watching football podcasts. We really appreciate it. We're growing fast here. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about week 4, but first, Xander, welcome back from your trip.
Thank you.
I want to just get because I asked Logan on Tuesday, just want to get your initial thoughts on the game that you went to, the atmosphere, the results of the game, and then any general thoughts on this week of football.
Yeah, so obviously seeing pictures and watching games or watching Patriots games, Gillette, I was like, looks like an okay stadium. I get there. Holy shit, dude, did that blow it out of the water? It is one of the coolest stadiums in the league. Everything is just so open. And mind you, it is the first NFL stadium I've ever watched a game at, so
Right.
there's obviously some better ones that I will hopefully be at, but Gillette is fantastic and the fan experience was fantastic. The actual game itself, not fantastic. That was probably the worst game of football I've ever watched in my life. If
Hey,
I
what do you mean? Your team won, man.
I don't care. If I was not a fan of either team, that shit would have been turned off with like halfway through the second. It was a horrible game. I mean, the Steelers, you have 5 takeaways and you only win by 7 points. They should have won by 30 or more points. And then with the Patriots turning the ball over at the goal line twice, dude, Patriots should have beat us by over 30 points had they not turned the ball over 5 times. Yeah, but a win is
I'd
a
love to
win.
talk about it more, but I'm still suffering.
A win is
Yeah.
a win. That's all I have to say. But wow, was that brutal.
Yeah, I love sitting over here at 3-0. It's pretty nice. Any
Shut up.
uh, any any general thoughts on the league? It was a pretty crazy week this week.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a crazy week. I couldn't watch any of the 1 p.m. games,
Right.
obviously, but I watched a little bit of the 4 o'clock games. I have no idea how Mac Jones and the 49ers are 3-0. Did not expect them to come back and get the game-winning kick as time expired, but it's actually kind of funny because now they have Eddie Pinheiro as their kicker, and he automatically hits the game winner. And I know damn well Jake Moody would not have hit that shit.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Uh, it's funny because Pinheiro actually missed his first kick last week.
Mhm.
So 49ers fans were getting a little bit of deja vu from that, but he comes in and he hits that game winner. 49ers 3-0. I was talking to Logan. The only real loss for them, Nick Bosa, is out for the season. Huge
Right.
loss for
Mhm.
them. It's almost like they're hopping right back on that injury train from last
It's
year.
his second torn ACL of his career too.
Yeah, you wonder how somebody, especially him, like he's an athletic freak, but um, there's no secret he's getting a little bit older, and now he's suffered three actually, but two main uh major big knee injuries. So obviously wishing the best for him. We'll
Yeah.
see how he comes back next season.
So week 3, wild week of football on the spread. I went 4-12. Straight up, I went 11-5. So pretty much the opposite. Max, you went 6-10 against the spread. Straight up, you went 9-7. And then Xander, you also went 6-10 against the spread, and straight up you were 8-8. So realistically, none of us did good on the spread. I especially didn't, but straight up I did pretty freaking good, and you
Yeah,
guys were middle of the pack, slightly above average. So it's weird how that
It
happened.
just shows how weird the week was because like
Right.
you had so many of the teams that we thought were going to be blowouts, like the Packers. The Packers should have won that game by 2 scores,
Right.
and they end up losing by 3 to the Browns. The Buccaneers probably should have had the spread. They didn't. They didn't get that. And then the Falcons too, losing 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers. That's strange.
Start with Thursday Night Football, the game that's about to take place as we're recording right now. Seattle in Arizona, Thursday Night Football. Seahawks favored by 1.5 points. Xander, is the wrong team favored or is the right team favored?
the right team is favored. I'm taking Seattle here. I just think they're better overall team. They have a better offense. They have a way better defense. So I'm taking Seattle here. But I do think it's going to be close. I mean, Arizona, they've been in some close games so far, able to come away with what, 2 wins, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
to come away with a couple wins. But I'm going Seattle. I'm saying 27-20.
Wow.
Yeah. My heart says Seattle, and my heart says Seattle to cover the spread as well. But I'm taking the Cardinals. The Cardinals with like outright and with spread. The Cardinals are such a gritty team, and we have seen that through the first 3 weeks. They don't ever win comfortably, and they're never in a comfortable game.
Mm-mm.
But just what Kyler Murray is able to do when it matters, those games versus the Saints, and then who did they play week 2 again?
They played Carolina.
Yeah, they played Carolina. Obviously, 2 inferior opponents. But to keep up with the 49ers and have that game in your grasp, and it wasn't your offense that went out and sold that game.
Yeah.
I think that the Cardinals really do have a chance
I
to
mean,
win.
if you think about it, the offense kind of did sell the game. They only scored 15 points.
Yeah, sure they scored 15 points, but ultimately they could not stop the Niners on their last 2 possessions. They had it. They had a good thing going. They were up 2 points. They had that safety that put them up 2 points. But I really do think that this team is really good, better than what their record shows. They really should be 3-0.
Mm. No,
It's a wild card pick, but I am going to take the Cardinals.
What's the score?
I like that pick.
Score, it's going to be close. Give me 23-20.
Okay. So Max has Arizona covering the spread and winning outright as underdogs, 23-20 over the Seahawks. And you know what's funny? 2 things about what you just said is funny. I was going to use that exact word, gritty. I think this Cardinals defense is wicked gritty, but I think the Seahawks defense is even grittier. I think this Seahawks defense is loaded, cornerback to cornerback, linebackers up front. They're stacked. In Arizona, they're known for stopping the run. The problem is in this game, they're injured at the cornerback position. Will Johnson will not be playing. Melton will be getting a lot of the duties. And you're talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba, and you're talking about Cooper Kupp, if healthy and playing like he's known to play, can really make an impact in this game. I think Seattle has the advantage on offense, defense, and special teams. Problem is, short week. They're coming into Arizona, 1 less day to prepare. The Seattle Seahawks winning this game. Same score as you, Max. Different team, 23-20. Seattle wins this game.
And I was with you until you brought up Cooper Kupp. I don't have confidence in him at all. I really don't. I think his past injuries in these last few seasons since his Triple Crown season have really made him an average wide receiver at best.
There's no denying that. There's no denying that.
I don't think that he's going to draw any attention away
Right.
from Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Right. It's an opportunity. We'll see how it goes. Me and Xander are on the Seahawks. Max, you're Lone Island with the Cardinals at home. It'll be an interesting game. Next game, 9:30 a.m. in Dublin, Ireland. Vikings favored by 2.5 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Max, who you got in this one? What's the score?
Yeah, I think this one's pretty easy for me. Sorry, Xander. The Vikings. And what did you say the spread was?
It was favored 2.5 points towards Minnesota.
Yeah, and they get that easily. I think they win 31-20. The Vikings defense is incredible. And I know they went up against who was it last week? Oh, Jake
Bengals.
Brown. Yeah. So they went up against a quarterback who really played like shit, but who caused them to play like shit. We had a guy who ran pick 6 back and a fumble recovery back. That's one guy. The defensive line is also incredible so far this year, with the exception of that Bears game. I really think that this is a team that is looking to and probably will get back to the playoffs again, whether it's JJ McCarthy or they keep Carson Wentz at the helm, which I think that's another conversation that we need to have at some point. Is Carson Wentz going to stay the starter through this? Because JJ McCarthy, he's only had the 2 starts, but he didn't look great in either of them, with the exception of that 4th quarter versus the Bears week 1. So yeah, give me the Vikings 31-20.
Yeah, that's a good pick. And I don't blame you either, because after the past few days I've been reflecting, and honestly I didn't even reflect that much because I saw it firsthand. that Steelers offense is a joke, and it's been a joke for a long time. I don't think anything's going to change until we get rid of some coaching staff.
It's crazy the difference
Um,
between week 1 and week 3 for
oh
them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, history right now, it's on after the past 2 weeks, they've just looked like dog shit. So I think, and now you're playing the Vikings defense, who have a top five defensive line. They have solid group of linebackers and decent secondary. I don't think Pittsburgh has much of a chance in this game. And then on the Viking side, Steelers' run defense has been horrible this season. I mean, they got bailed out facing Ramondre Stevenson, forcing a couple fumbles there, but you look at the game prior, Kenneth Walker with over 100 rushing yards, and then Breece Hall with over 120 rushing yards. So I think Jordan Mason is going to run all over the Steelers defense. And I'm going to go 27-13 Minnesota. I don't think Steelers get that many opportunities to score.
Wow. See, I am on a lone island with this one. I have the Steelers winning this game, and I had it pretty comfortably, but I kind of changed it. I think this is going to be a really low scoring game. The Minnesota defense is good. I just think this is the game where the Steelers defense steps up, and that's why I have the Steelers winning this game by 17-16 in a very low scoring game. Don't want to go against the Vikings. Xavier Scott, former teammate UMaine last year, 50 total yards, 30 on the ground, 20 through the air for the Vikings. It was awesome to get to see him in action. That's a good friend of mine. But so again, I'm on a lone island. I have Pittsburgh winning. Max and Xander, you both have Minnesota winning and covering by that 2.5 point spread. Washington at Atlanta. I think they're at Atlanta.
Yep.
Yep, at Atlanta. Washington favored by 1.5 points. Is this too small or is this just right? Max, what do you think?
I don't even know what to think about the Falcons anymore. I was so confident in them going into the season. You remember my hot take. I said they finish 11-6 and they give the Bucs a run for their money. At this point, they're 1-2, and they just lost by 30 points and held scoreless against the Carolina Panthers, who had the historically worst defense of all time last year. You have to score against them, and they don't. Michael Penix looked like shit in that game. And they're not willing to give Kirk Cousins a chance. I don't know. I think the Commanders win this one. I don't think it's going to be a crazy high scoring game. I also don't think they win by a ton. Can you remind me the spread again?
1.5 favor towards Washington.
Yeah, I think they do cover that. Give me 20-17.
Xander, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree with Max here. And honestly, I said it last week, I'll say it again. Jaden Daniels or Marcus Mariota, it doesn't matter. Both are stud quarterbacks. I mean, Mariota lit up Vegas with his feet and through the air. Obviously, Atlanta is a much better defense, but when you look past the offense and the defense and you just go straight to the coaching staff, I prefer Dan Quinn over Raheem Morris 7 days out of the week. And I prefer Cliff Kingsbury over Zach Robinson 7 days of the week. I'm going Washington here. I'm saying I'll do 24-16 Washington.
Wow. 24-16 Washington. Yeah, man. I'm with you guys. I think Washington wins this game. I just really trust the defense. I feel like the defense has been the part where it's been questionable, especially last year in the playoffs when we watched what Philly did to them. Coming into this year will carry over. This Washington defense is full of veterans who can fly around the football field and they can still play football at a very high level. And a lot of question marks on Michael Penix's name now. Watching that film, a lot of wide open receivers, a lot of timid play. You know, you saw the play where he looked at Kyle Pitts running the stick route to his right. He was open, but he didn't throw it. His real throw should have been to Ray McCloud coming on an in route, who's wide open, could have took that for some yak. And instead, he flips his shoulders all the way to his left and takes a check down throw on his return for a touchdown by Carolina. Just a lot of lot of film where it's like, Michael Penix, what are you doing? Like, this is not the arm that we saw at Washington. And that's what concerns me. Not to mention the offensive coordinator is coming down to be on the sidelines for this game. So if that doesn't tell you there's some problems with this offense and there's like a need, a sense of urgency within the coaching staff, it's now for this Atlanta Falcons team because you don't want to be talking about this 8 games into the season when it's too late. So they got to make things happen. They have the guys to do it. They've proven they have the defense to finally help the offense. It's just a matter if Michael Penix can step up, and none of us expected to have this conversation because we were all going into the season thinking they made the right choice drafting him because he's way better than Kirk Cousins. Now we're having the same questions about Michael Penix we had about Kirk Cousins. So it's a very questionable. They also fired their wide receiver coach. So if that's not the front office telling you guys to make a move now on the offense, don't matter who it is,
Warning
make it happen.
shot.
Warning
It's a
shot, right? So I got Washington winning this game, 27-17, covering the spread.
Atlanta, don't let me down, man. Prove me wrong.
Okay, on to the next game. Max, I'm gonna let you go first. It's your Buffalo Bills. They're favored by 15.5 points. What do you think?
Buffalo by 50. I'm kidding. But they should win this one pretty handily. I'm not impressed by the Saints defense, and I'm less impressed by their offense. Spencer Rattler hasn't looked terrible. He has not been a terrible quarterback, but he just doesn't have the help around him to keep up with Buffalo, even with Buffalo's questionable defense. I think that Josh Allen goes in and this is a routine game for him. He doesn't have to launch it 80 yards down the field. He's just going to pick you down one by one and score touchdowns on most of it, touchdowns or points on most of his drives. There's always trap games, and we've seen New Orleans be on the other end of those trap games a few times, but I don't think that this is something the Bills are too concerned about right now. I think that they feel pretty comfortable. They are going to be down a few defensive starters, but I still feel very comfortable with them winning. Their spread was what? 10.5?
15.5.
15.5. That's where I question, because sometimes they let them stay around for a while. But I'm gonna stick with my boys. Give me the Bills 45-10.
Woo!
45-10.
Yeah.
Woo.
Wow. Zan, what do you
Saying
think?
it's a spanking out there in Orchard.
Absolute
Buffalo's
down in New
Buffalo's
Orleans.
averaging 35 points a game right now.
Yeah, but see, that's not the issue for me. It's the 35-point win.
The spread was 17.5. Today it dropped
I thought
down
you
to
said
15.5.
Yeah, because Matt Milano and Ed Oliver probably are not playing.
That's why. That's
Brings
definitely
it
why.
down 2
Yep.
points. That's hilarious.
So, Xander, what do you have for a score in this one? What do you
I'm
think?
not gonna add much to this. I'm just gonna get the score. It's Buffalo by a mile. I'm going 48-23.
That's not that much.
I was gonna say.
different than my
I was gonna
score,
say he
though.
goes when you said 45 and he comes out with.
I said 45-10. I was gonna say Buffalo in the 40s, but like 10 points for New Orleans. Okay.
Yeah, I got Buffalo winning 30-10. Nothing really more to add.
10 points. No Ed Oliver or Milano. I think Saints score a couple times.
I don't even want to talk about this anymore. We got the Browns in Detroit, man. Browns with an upset last week. Can they do it 2 weeks in a row? Xander, what do you think?
No, they can't.
Are you fucking serious?
That was such a game of fucking luck, bro. They were down 10-0 with under 5 minutes left, and they somehow win 13-10. Mind you, they were gonna lose 13-10, but they blocked a damn field goal.
Yep.
No, it's not gonna happen. I'm going Detroit. That everything is clicking offensively, and the defense has looked pretty good. I'm gonna say 34 to 34-16. 34-16 Detroit.
Yeah. This is gonna be the game that Joe Flacco finally checks out his wheelchair. He is gonna struggle against this team because the Packers defense is really, really good. But I honestly think that apart from that first week, the Lions defense has played better overall. I'm going to make it real simple. Lions go in, they win 34-7.
Holy smokes. Yeah, man, I disagree with you guys. I think this Cleveland defense is really, 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 really impressive. Might have overthrown the Packers for the best defense in the league with that game. They're so good they can drop everyone back in coverage and just rush forward and they know they can get to the quarterback. They got Myles Garrett, who they just get out of Michigan, Mason Graham, who doesn't even look like a defensive tackle. He's out there getting by offensive linemen, making plays all over the line of scrimmage. And then their secondary with Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, Del Pitt, safety. I like this defense, man. They proved something against Green Bay, an explosive offense that was expected to come in and win by 10 points. And I think the Browns cover backdoor. It's going to be a late backdoor cover. They're down 21-10 and they kick a field goal to cover the spread. They lose to the Lions 21-13.
Yeah, I don't see it being that close at all.
But we also said this last week, man. We said
yeah,
this
I know.
last
But
week.
the Lions offense is just so damn good.
But the Lions defense isn't as good as Green Bay's.
You just said that they might have taken over.
What do you mean? Taking what?
You
What
said
did
that they might have taken over as the best defense in the league.
the Browns?
Oh, I thought you said the Lions.
No, the Browns. The Browns have taken over.
Yeah, the Browns
I feel-
defense is really good.
Yeah,
And they do have a really good defensive line and a good pass rush.
right.
I think their big success has also been stopping the run game. They held Josh Jacobs pretty well, and I really think that with all the weapons that Detroit has, it doesn't matter. You want to cover Amon-Ra St. Brown with two guys? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
We're just gonna throw it to Sam Laporta or to Jameson Williams. I don't think it's gonna be close.
Right. I feel like I thought it was gonna be a blowout, like first instinct, but when I thought about it a little more, like someone's gonna have to cover as these big underdogs. Next game, Panthers at Patriots. Patriots favored by 5.5 points. Max, kick it off.
Depends what kind of Panthers team shows up. We haven't seen much out of Bryce Young at all. But they go in and surprise us against a solid defense in Atlanta last week. Patriots are home though. Patriots, Drake May has played well. Ramondre Stevenson, I think, sees significantly less carries this week after fumbling twice. I'm confident that New England will get this win, and I think they do it 28-14.
That's a solid pick. Yeah, I think Patriots have a bounce back week. Again, they should have blown Pittsburgh out of the water. And that was such a fluke game from Carolina, winning 30-0. I don't think that happens again this season. I'm going New England on this one. I'll go 27-17.
I like him. I like him. I like this New England offense. I like what McDaniels did in that game against the Steelers, understanding like the Steelers aren't doing great defensively, but they're still a really talented defense. So we can't overcomplicate things. We just got to throw 5, 6, 7 yard hitch routes, get first downs, which they did. And they got to the red zone plenty of times. They just couldn't capitalize and score touchdowns, which was the frustrating part. I think they do against this Panthers defense. I think the Panthers game against the Falcons was a fluke. I think they just watched a lot of film and understood they could really shut down Penix. And once they did that, the offense and defense just carried the Panthers to a blowout. So I just don't think that happens this week. I think Vrabel's pissed off. I think he's pissed that they fumbled the ball so many times and really gave up his first career win, first possible win at home. And now they're 0-2 at home. A chance to make it 1-2. I think they get right against the Panthers. They win 26-20, barely covering the spread. All right. So next game this is an interesting game because we got the Chargers coming into New York. Jackson Dart's first start as a New York Giant. They're 0-3. They made the change. Bench Russell Wilson. Was this the right time? And is this point spread too much? Chargers favored by 6.5. Xander, kick it off.
I think this was, for your first question, I think this was the exact right time. You had the entire New York Giant fan base calling for Russell's head after that game against Kansas City. And then you heard Dable post-game saying, yeah, I don't blame them. So obviously a change was needed. You're 0-3 and things aren't looking better throughout the season. Might as well plug him in. And it's right before the Philly game. Get him battle tested for that by going up against the Chargers. So I like putting Dart in now. But that's a That's a solid spread. I like that spread. I don't think it's too much. In fact, I would have had it more. I would go Chargers winning this game, and it's gonna be, I'd say 20. I'm gonna go 26-13 Chargers.
Max, what do you think?
Um,
13-point win, Xander thinks.
yeah, so I think after that game versus the Cowboys, a lot of us, including ourselves, had this post-game shock and adrenaline where we thought, damn, maybe the Giants offense is really good. Maybe Russell Wilson does have the potential to put up those numbers. And then they go and play Kansas City, who has a very good defense, much better than the Cowboys, and they suck. Russell Wilson looked terrible. So yes, it is the right time to insert Jackson Dart. I also think it buys Brian Daboll a few more weeks before he's fired to try and get things put on the right track. Jackson Dart, rookie quarterback coming in. You're going to give your head coach a few weeks to try and work with him. I do think he's on a very hot seat right now, but I don't think that changes the outcome of this game. I don't think Jackson Dart's coming in and gonna really do anything spectacular. I could be wrong, but give me the Chargers just because they have been so good this season. Justin Herbert is an MVP candidate right now. I would say Chargers 27-13.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I think Jackson Dart is the spark this Giants team needs. I think the offense will look better. I just don't think the defense will hold up. I think this will be a lot like the Cowboys where the offense overperforms and the defense just shits the bed. Chargers come in to New York and stomp on them. Jackson Dart looks all right, though. Chargers win 31-16, cover the spread. Next
Yeah,
game. This
real
is
quick.
oh, yeah.
Just,
Go ahead, man.
Jackson Dart. I think the difference that in your quarterbacks here is Russell Wilson feels like he has this need to launch it down the field to Malik Neighbors or Wan'Dale Robinson at least once a drive.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jackson Dart, one, is going to have quite the confidence to do that yet. But also, I don't think that he's going to be allowed to do that. I think he's going to be very limited in what he's allowed to do. He's going to take checkdowns. He's going to take those over the middle 7-yard passes. So, I could see them maybe pulling in a little bit closer than my score prediction, but in a first start for a guy, I don't think that he's gonna show up against a team this good.
I'm really glad you brought that up. And the reason Russell Wilson is benched is I think they saw a lot that Jackson Dart can do the things Russell Wilson can't do. And Russell Wilson just throws a moon ball up as soon as he sees man coverage. He can't play against zone coverage. And that's why I don't think he's going to get picked up again because he can't operate an offense in nowadays NFL where it's a lot of man coverage. You're not seeing crazy good Niners defenses running man coverage and blitzing you from all over. You're not seeing those teams anymore. You're seeing a lot of zone coverage teams that can't get to the quarterback, and Russell Wilson just can't make those throws. So it's that was the problem there. I'm glad you brought that up though. Russell can't throw against zone. He's great against the man. That's a lot of why the Cowboys got torched. Trevon Diggs, and they just got torched.
Elam.
Elam got torched. So this is an interesting game because Tampa Bay has done really good against the Eagles in the past. Philly's coming into Tampa Bay favored by 3.5 points. Max, is it too much? Who covers? Who wins?
Nope, because the Buccaneers are winning this game. It came very, very close last week with the Rams. The Rams are a very good football team, and they were up 26-7. We saw the holes in that Philadelphia defense. And that offense turned it up at the end. They had the tush push score early on, and then they won. The only reason they won is because Jordan Davis blocked a kick, which credit to them and their field goal unit for going out there and clutching up when they needed to. But when we want to talk about clutchness, who else are we going to talk about except the guy who has led 3 game-winning drives with less than a minute left to go in the game in all 3 weeks so far in Baker Mayfield? This Bucs team is something else, man. As much of a fan as I am of the Bills and secondary, the Falcons, I think the Buccaneers might be taking that second spot right now. They are so fun to watch. They have a really good roster. Their wide receiver core is banged up right now with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin probably both not playing. Evans out for several weeks. But Emeka Egbuka looks awesome. They have Sterling Shepard, who has played decent so far this year. Bucky Irving in the backfield, who can also catch passes out. And Rachaad White, let's say he's back. They have him too, who's also a very solid and strong runner. Their defense looks really good too. They do have holes in their defense. And New York was able to expose those last week. But the Bucks are so good at keeping it a close game with whoever they play. I really do feel confident that they come out and win this one. Very close game, 33-30, high scoring.
Wow.
I am agreeing with Max on this one. I'm taking Tampa here as well. But I don't think it's going to be a high-powered offensive game. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring than that. The Eagles' offense has just not been impressive this entire season. But they have the defensive capabilities to sort of quiet down those high-powered offenses. And I think that's sort of what they're going to do to Tampa. I mean, we're not going to see Baker go for 350, 4 tugs, you know. But at the end of the day, if I'm going Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield, just off of this season, who I want down the stretch in a close game to win the game, I want Baker Mayfield. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a close game down to the wire, and Tampa ends up getting the ball back, and they make it 4 weeks in a row where they score the game winner with under a minute remaining. And I'm going 24-20 Tampa.
Ooh, I do like that. Because I have a very similar situation. Tampa Bay has an opportunity to get a game-winning drive, but they don't capitalize. Philadelphia wins 28-23 and covers the spread. And I say that this because of this reason. Last week against the Rams, they find themselves down 19 points. That's their wake-up call they needed. They needed that before they came into Tampa Bay, because if they did not have that, they're getting that against Tampa Bay this week. So I'm glad they got that out of the way. I love the defense for the Eagles. They're still great. The offense is still great. They've proven they can throw it when they need to. The problem is with the Bucks, like you said, Mike Evans is injured. Chris Godwin's just coming back, and Emeka Egbuka looks great. He's going to be a superstar in this league. But who's going to be that number 2 receiver to torch? Who's the corner for the Eagles?
Bo Jackson and Cooper
From USC. From USC. We used to play on the Giants. Oh my God, he was
Adoree
getting
Jackson.
Adoree Jackson, yeah. Who's going to be the receiver that lines up across from Adoree Jackson? Because that's a matchup I
Sterling
want.
Shepard.
Come on, man. I don't trust Chris Godwin in his first game back from a terrible knee injury, and there's no Mike Evans. So I think the Eagles had that wake-up call. They covered the spread, stopped the Bucks from getting that 4th game-winning drive in a row, like you mentioned. So I'm on a lone island, which can go very good or very bad for me again. So that's who I got. Next game, Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Houston's favored by 7.5 points. Max, what you got?
My gut wants me to take the Titans, but I do think that just because of how the Texans have played and how really bad their offense has been, but I am going to take them. I do think they pick up their first win this weekend. Spread is what?
6.5
for
the Texans.
The Texans. Yeah, but they do not win by that much. Low scoring game. I have it 14-10.
Wow, 14-10. We said it last week. There's no way Houston starts 0-3, and they somehow do. This week, I'm saying no way they start out 0-4. And I'm not even going to talk about my Cam Ward take, okay? We're just going to forget.
We didn't get to rip on him for that.
We're going to forget about that.
Rip on him for that.
Yeah, we didn't get to flame him for that take. That was crazy.
We're forgetting about that. I'm men in blacking you guys right now.
He said 4 football fields.
Do you think he gets half of that this week?
I don't even think he gets 200. I'm going Houston 17-14.
17-14.
Both offenses just don't impress me.
No, not at all.
17-14. So you got the Texans winning 17-14, and you have the Texans winning 13-10?
Yep.
He said 14-10.
Yeah. Sorry,
14-10. And I mean, again, I'm on an island. The Tennessee Titans win this game. I think the Texans are shattered. We got 2 shattered teams. You know, Tennessee in the press conference, remember, who was the guy flaming the Tennessee Titans in pregame for looking not they went into it. They were saying the Titans weren't ready pregame. They didn't look ready. Well, I think
Michael Pittman?
Yes. Well, and then you got I guarantee Coach Callahan's in that locker room absolutely flaming these guys. They're talking about me getting fired. They saying you guys not ready. We're playing the Houston Texans, who are also 0-3. And the Texans think they're gonna stomp your ass in their home turf. I just don't like this Texans offense. I like the Tennessee Titans receivers better just because they got more. That's a crazy take. I can't believe I'm saying it, but the more I think about it, I do agree. Nico Collins is clearly the better receiver, but Tennessee, I think, has more options around him. Tony Pollard, better run game, Cam Ward. This is a perfect opportunity to get the first win against a Texans team who feels down and out. Tennessee Titans win outright 17-14.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, next game we got the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts 3-0 at the Rams. Rams at home coming off what should have been a win against the Eagles. Colts looking to make it 4-0. Max, what you got?
This one's tough because the Indianapolis offense has looked better at times than the Rams offense, but Rams are home. And I think that Daniel Jones has his first mediocre game against the Rams. I just think that the Rams are a more complete team right now. We talked about how good the defense for the Colts is, so I don't think it's going to be high scoring. But I think the better team does prevail in this case. And I would say the Rams win 21-17.
Xander, what you got, man?
I'm going with the Rams on this one as well. But I think, oh, it's so hard. I don't know if it's going to be a low scoring game or a high scoring game. I'm going to go with what my gut tells me. I think this is a high scoring game. I love both offenses. I am so shocked by the Colts offense. They look incredible under Daniel Jones. And Jonathan Taylor is having a rejuvenized season, and he's on track for going over 1,900 rushing yards. I mean, he's having a hell of a year. But my gut is telling me to take the Rams because Stafford is that guy. Sean McVay is that guy. They have a better defense, better special teams. But I do think it's going to be close. I'm going Rams. I'm going to say 36-30.
Wow.
Yep. I think it's a high scoring game.
So both of you have the Rams covering. Yeah, man, I think this is going to be a great game. This might be the game of the week, in my opinion. Two high-flying offenses and two potentially could be really stifling defenses in the matchup like this. So I agree with what you said. It could be very high scoring, could be very low scoring. I had it as a 1 point game, a low scoring game before you said that, Xander. And the more you kept talking, the more I thought about it. I think it's a little bit more higher like you have it. I think the Colts lose but cover. Rams win 28-27.
I like that. Yeah. That's a solid pick.
And I appreciate it, man. Next game, Jacksonville at the 49ers. 49ers favored by 3.5 points. No Nick Bosa, still with a backup quarterback. When's Purdy coming back? McCaffrey, how's he doing? Don't know. Ricky Pearsall's balling out. Jacksonville in San Francisco. Max, who you got? 3.5 point favorite. San Francisco.
I got the Niners, and I think they do beat the spread. Jacksonville has impressed me more than what I thought they would, but Trevor Lawrence has not impressed me. And I think when going up against this Niners offense, which despite the injuries and despite the lack of a true number one wide receiver outside of Ricky Pearsall, they still have Christian McCaffrey. They still have a solid run game. I think that they go and they win this game, and I think that they win it 24-17.
I'm gonna go with the opposite. I'm taking the Jags this game. I love what they're building over there. I mean, the defense has looked really good this season outside of that Cincinnati game. Actually, even that Cincinnati game because they forced a few turnovers. Yeah, I mean, that whole team has impressed me this season, and I think it's all because of Liam Cohen. He has been that vocal energy that the Jags have desperately needed for so long. It's something that Doug Peterson wasn't during his tenure there in Jacksonville. It's something that Urban Meyer definitely wasn't during his tenure in Jacksonville, however short-lived that was. Um, but yeah, Jacksonville's on the come up, and even though Trevor Lawrence hasn't impressed any of us, that ground game is probably top three in the league. ETN has looked like a dog this season. And no Bosa, that's a cause for concern defensively for San Fran. Now you're going up against the Jaguars, who have a great run offense. Yeah, I'm taking the Jaguars here with the upset. I'm going 23-16.
Wow. You got the 49ers offense finally stalling out. I agree. I think the wheels come off the bike eventually because the screws aren't tight enough. And when you lose a screw, that being Nick Bosa, and you got three left, you hope the other three are working perfect, and then eventually another one pops up, and you're looking around like, holy smokes, and you're holding on by a thread.
Great analogy.
And I think this is the exact moment the 49ers are in right now. I think the Jaguars come in, like you said, Xander, and win this game. I think it's going to have to be the grittiest game of the year. I think Jaguars come in and stun them 21-20.
Hmm.
Next game could be the game of the week also, but you got 1-2 teams. That's a tongue twister. Ravens favored by 2.5 points on the road in Kansas City. Xander, who do you like?
Ooh, I don't know. As soon as I heard Ravens favored, I go, why? It's in Arrowhead. It's against KC. They're not statistically as good as Kansas City whenever they play against each other. But then I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know, it kind of makes sense that they're favored. They have the best offense in the league. Obviously, their defense has not been up to par during these first 3 weeks of the season, giving up 38 to Detroit, which you kind of expect. It's Detroit. Their offense is lethal. And then you give up 41 to Buffalo. Again, you expect that. And then only 17 to Cleveland. So now you're facing a Kansas City team in Arrowhead. That's a tough environment. But this Chiefs team, it looks different than years past. You're not scared of them anymore. Patrick Mahomes isn't scary anymore. Andy Reid is not scary anymore.
Right.
Spagnuolo, not that scary anymore. It seems that they finally found their kryptonite. Teams are finally figuring out this Chiefs team. They just lost to the Chargers week 1, and then they lost the following week. And yeah, they got their win this past week, but it's against the Giants. Now you're facing Baltimore, who has the best offense in the league, and your offense still hasn't done much this season. And your defense has looked okay. It's looked pretty good, but this is Baltimore we're talking about. Has to be more than okay. Has to be more
Baltimore, come
than
on, it's Baltimore.
I I was gonna say KC, but the more I think about it, I'm going Baltimore. I like that pick. And I'm gonna go 23-21 Baltimore.
Wow, so you got KC covering.
Hmm.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Um, I am completely torn on this game, so I'm gonna just talk myself through this. Baltimore's offense, like you said, is the very best in football right now. They truly are. Lamar Jackson looks every bit as good as he did last year and the year prior, and maybe even better. He's got 10 touchdowns through 3 games. But what really concerns me is how terrible that defense is. It really is bad. It's a bad defense considering you have Roquan Smith, you have Marlon Humphrey, and you've got Kyle Hamilton, who are all supposedly supposed to be stars for your defense. You bring in Jair Alexander, and he looks terrible. Marlon Humphrey did get cooked on a few plays, not only against the Bills, but last week.
Yeah, so Max was just basically saying that he thinks the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game, which would be an upset, 2.5 point upset. I think it's going to be one of those defensive battle games, even though Baltimore's defense hasn't really proven anything. Kansas City doesn't really have a great rushing attack, and that's what the Lions did to Baltimore and really exposed them that way. I think Baltimore gets right. I think the whole team's just wicked pissed off. 21-21 tie in the fourth quarter. Lamar leads the team down. They win 28-21. They cover the spread and win the game outright. Next up, we got the Bears at the Raiders. Raiders favored by 1.5 points. I don't know. I might go bet the Bears right now. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, the Bears are winning this game just based off what I've seen from the Raiders so far. Caleb Williams had a fantastic week last week, 4 touchdowns. He looked very good. Again, it was against the Cowboys, so I'm not trying to get like too high up there because we saw what Russell Wilson did. But I think that they're able to do just enough. Their defense is very good. The Cowboys was not. The Raiders is not. we saw what Washington did to them with a backup quarterback in Marcus Mariota last week. I think that the Bears win 25-17.
Ooh.
I think Caleb Williams, that Dallas game was the confidence boost he needed. I think he goes on a little hot streak, and now's the time to do it. I mean, you just played a very crappy Dallas defense, and now you're gonna play a crappy Raiders defense. I think Bears put up a lot of points, but I also see it being a close game. I'm going Chicago here. I'm gonna say 32-27 Chicago.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Very high scoring. Xander with the high scoring games this week. Was this a repeat of week 2? Just a bunch of shootouts? Was that week
Yeah.
2? That was
I think that was
yeah,
week
week
2.
2, and then week 3 was wicked weird. Week 1 was
Mhm.
defense, week 2 offense, week 3 wicked weird. What can we get for week 4? We've seen everything now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got me and Max almost had a exact score. I got the Bears winning 26-17, covering the spread as underdogs and winning outright. Green Bay Packers in Dallas, Micah Parsons revenge game. Packers favored by 6.5. Who wins, who covers, and how many sacks does Micah Parsons have? Xander, go.
Did you say Packers favored by 6.5 sacks?
No, 6.5 points. Okay, that's crazy.
No, I
Probably
like it.
six.
I like it. I think Jordan Love faced a really tough Cleveland defense. Now he's going to face a really bad Dallas defense. I think he throws over 300 yards. Green Bay gets back on track offensively, and Micah Parsons is facing his old team. Jerry Jones is going to be in the building. Micah's pissed off. I think he gets 3.5 sacks and a forced fumble. Um,
Okay.
I'm gonna go Green Bay on this one. I think they go 35 to 20.
I'll make it real quick. Packers win this one 31-14. And Micah Parsons is going to have 2 sacks in this game. The Dallas defense is just not good enough to keep up. They aren't.
Yeah, man, I got Green Bay winning and covering. They win 33-20. I think as much as as much as Dallas wants to beat Green Bay wants to beat Dallas like as a FU, thank you for Micah Parsons. Now here's this beat down. Take that L just like you did in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, Green Bay wins 33-20, covers the spread. Sweet. We all got them winning and covering. 2 games left. Monday Night Football, Jets at Dolphins, division game. Miami's home, and they're favored by 2.5 points. I don't know. Who wins? Who covers? Max.
I think Miami gets back on the right track this week. They're at home. The Jets have proven 3 weeks in a row that they can get just about there, but they can't finish the game. And I think that falls heavily on their defense. Tua has not been great. I think he's still good for an interception in this game, but I think
Yeah.
that they're able to do just enough to win this game. And you said they're 2.5 point favorites.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have them winning by 2. I'd say 27-25. I think that neither of these defenses are good enough to keep either team under 20 points. So give me Miami getting their first win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Miami getting their first win. Or Duval. Honestly, it depends if it's Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. Because honestly, if it's Justin Fields and he clears concussion protocol, I want to go with the Jets. So if Justin Fields plays, I'm gonna go Jets winning 27-23. If it's Tyrod Taylor, I'm gonna go Dolphins. I'm gonna go Dolphins winning 27-20.
I think Tyrod Taylor has been better.
Hey, what did I say? Tyrod Taylor is a better thrower of the football than Justin
I
Fields.
don't know. I think
The
against
passing
that
game's way
Dolphins
better with
defense,
Tyrod Taylor at
against that
quarterback.
Dolphins defense, and the way that Fields is able to scramble and make plays with his legs, I think.
Right, extend, yeah.
Yeah,
On
I
Monday Night
think
Football, yeah.
exactly.
So what do you got for a score there?
So is it confirmed that Fields is out, or is he playing, or what?
There is no
No.
confirmation. You just gotta choose one.
Dude, I have to wing it.
You don't get fucking doubles.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna go Miami 27-20.
Max, who you got, man?
I've got Miami.
And what was the score again?
I think I said 27-25 Miami.
Wow, you love that 25 score, man.
I love it.
If I date back to last week too, I think that's their fifth 25, and I don't think either me
Yeah,
or Xander
I
said
like in the
25.
later portion of these close games, guys going for two.
I like that.
Mm.
I like that, and that's
They
what I
go for
thought when
two.
that's what I thought you were gonna say. But like, if you didn't say that, I would have been like, 25 is a
They,
weird score. But the
yeah,
2 point
they go for two often in these later games, especially this year, hoping that they can take the lead and not have to play overtime with a
Right.
field goal.
Yep, I like that. I got the Dolphins winning and covering barely, 23-20. I think Tyrod Taylor, if he plays, they have a better chance to win. I just still don't think he's got enough explosion around. Brees Hall's a dog. That's the thing. Like that's the one. If Brees Hall can have a game, I think the Jets can win the game. But I'm gonna go who has the better weapons. Tua has the better weapons, so I'm gonna go Dolphins 23-20. It's gross. I don't even want to pick the Dolphins in anything. Last game of the week, Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos. Broncos favored by 7.5 points. Xander,
Mm.
lead off.
Bengals just got 48 piece by Minnesota.
With
Now
a
they're
back
heading in.
quarterback.
Now with Carson Wentz as their QB. Now they're going into Denver. That's a mile high. That's a tough environment. And you have a backup quarterback in Jake Browning. And against that Denver defense, obviously Bo Nix hasn't looked impressive to start the year, but I think he'll bounce back. I call me crazy. Call me crazy. I think it's a repeat of last week. I think Denver obliterates them. I'm going Denver. I'm gonna say 52-17.
Holy shit!
Yep. I think they absolutely obliterate
So
Cincinnati.
yeah, Logan, clip this one for the shorts.
This
52.
is my hot take this week. I just saw Cincy get steamrolled by Minnesota led by Carson Wentz. And Minnesota has a great defense. Now you're going into Denver, tough ass environment against a great defense. Bo Nix as the QB, 52-17.
Yeah, so this one's not that one's not as much of a hot take as Cam Ward throwing for 400 yards. I do think that Cincinnati does get fucking stomped out there, especially up in Denver with the mile high environment and this Broncos defense that looks incredible. And I do think that the that Bo Nix kind of figures it out this week. He's got a chance against a real defense to feel a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, give me Denver 35-23.
I like it. Yeah, a lot of high scoring expectations for the Broncos. I got them winning 41-13. Blowout fashion, not really a game. Make you want to turn off the TV by the end of the first quarter and go to freaking bed and wake up for work the next day. Yeah. So I mean that's what we got, man. These picks have been wicked fun. The recap's awesome earlier in the week. We just added segments to our videos, which will spice things up, add more conversation and debate and all. It'll just make for better content. And then with these picks, I think this is the fan favorite right here. I feel like a lot of sports fans nowadays want to know who's going to win because they're placing a lot of money on it. And thankfully for us having this podcast, we have to pay attention to the NFL. We have to stay up to date with live news and make sure all that's in check. And that's why we feel like we can make these videos. We feel like we have enough analysis and data to predict who's going to win these games, even if you go 5-11 on the spread. Week 3 was a weird week. We can admit
Very
that.
weird.
New week, new me against the spread. If I'm the same straight up, I'll take it. I'll take 11-5 any day of the week, but I got to improve. Anyways, this is Logan Martin, Max Sturm, Xander Cook. This is the In the Pocket podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you listen this long, comment the number 1 so I know you watched this whole video. But anyway, so long until next video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Take care.
Oh.
Nice.